Hi guys, Senator Jared Rennick here from the People First Party. I just thought I'd pass a few comments on what appears to be a Donald Trump victory tonight. And I think it's a vindication of his policies and the policies of nationalists everywhere who are proud of their country and want to put their country first rather than put the interests of the globalists first. Because for too long we've seen too many countries in the West become weaker because we've allowed other countries like China. We've allowed our industries to go to countries like China. And it's not just Australia and America, it's Germany, it's Great Britain. Many of the great nations of the West throughout the 20th century have declined. And I think this victory for Donald Trump is the repudiation of all the neoliberal policies of the last 4 decades. I think it's a strong signal that sends a strong signal to the establishment that we want jobs in our own countries first. And we want economic nationalism rather than this globalist free trade mantra that has allowed products and tax and everything like that to all go offshore, as well as our infrastructure. So it's not just our manufacturing that's gone offshore. We've allowed sovereign wealth funds to buy our infrastructure here in Australia and in many other countries. And of course, these sovereign wealth funds are given tax breaks, and then the profits from the infrastructure and all of these profits that get sent offshore kept in tax havens where they pay no tax. And as a result of that, we've seen hard-working Australians and in many other countries as well, the workers paying a much higher share of income tax than, say, company tax. And so Donald Trump wanting to bring, manufacturing back onshore in the States, and hopefully we can adopt similar policies here, I think is very good for the economy, because you cannot stand on your own 2 feet as a country if you don't have an economy that has a wide skill base. And I just did a post earlier today whereby almost half our company tax comes from mining companies alone. And that is really scary, and it's actually an indication of just how hollowed out our economy has become. And probably it's masked the fact that our manufacturing and everything has declined, the success of our mining industry. But we cannot allow our economy to remain hollow, so shallow and so focused on only 1 or 2 areas. We need to rebuild our manufacturing, and we need a much broader skill base in our economy. The other thing that this victory does is it actually says that people want a strong border policy. Now, while I think we've had a much better border policy here over the last 2 decades than what the US has had in the last 4 years under Biden and Harris, where they let millions of immigrants cross the border, it does say that we need to start protecting our borders, and it sends a strong message to all the leaders in the Western world to start controlling your borders. The third aspect of this win, which is very good, is that it pushes back on woke ideology. Now, the Democrats and many left-leaning governments across the world have been pushing this ideology down our throat, this woke ideology down our throat, and people are sick of it, whether it's climate change, whether it's the whole transgender stuff, whether it's the welcome the country stuff, feeling guilty about the past. This stuff has to stop. We should be very proud of our pioneering forefathers, as the Americans have always been proud of their patriots. What our forefathers did in turning the West and giving us this high level, very high standard of living is something that we should be incredibly grateful for, and we should never talk the sacrifices of our forefathers down. So, Donald Trump has always been a very proud American. He's always been very proud of the American forefathers, and that's something here in Australia we have to do as well. And the last thing that I'll look forward to under a Donald Trump presidency is that he's going to try and stop the war in the Ukraine. People are sick and tired of endless wars. They're sick and tired of wars that have been contrived, as many of you know, and I've spoken about this on numerous occasions. The war in the Ukraine was started by the deep state Democrats. In fact, there's a phone call, where Victoria Nuland says to Jeffrey P. the American ambassador to Ukraine, that she's just got to get the attaboy from Biden. So even under the Barack Obama regime, Biden was there kicking off that war, that civil war in Ukraine, which then spilled into the Ukraine-Russian war. So we are sick of endless wars. People soldiers don't join offence forces, they join defence forces. They join because they want to defend their own country. They don't want to actually go and fight to protect the profits of these multinationals and banks who just want to sacrifice the blood of our children on the altar of their profits. No thanks, no more endless wars. And the last thing is I want to actually have a crack at both major parties here in Australia, both the Labor Party and the Liberal Party, who have criticised Donald Trump. Just recently we saw this week where Albanese had a crack at Trump. I mean, I'd expect that, him being from the left. But what I don't expect is people from the right like John Howard, George Brandis, and of course Alexander Downer, when he was ambassador to the UK, actually colluded with Hillary Clinton and the Democrats to try and stop Trump from being elected the first time. Now these, I'm seriously considering writing to Peter Dutton to kick these people out of the Liberal Party. They should not be there. We are sick and tired of, not myself, people are sick and tired of the Liberals who should have been standing up for conservative values. You know, they were originally a protectionist party, have sold out to the globalists decades ago. And it's about time the Liberal Party went back to its initial roots of putting the nation first, of putting the individual and the families first, and restraining these unaccountable and unelected institutions. Because that's what the People First Party will be doing. We will be putting people first. We will be putting the families first, and we'll make sure, and we won't be doing it by giving you subsidies and making you more dependent on the government. We want to empower you and your families so you can stand on your own 2 feet and get the government out of your life. So anyway, congratulations, Donald Trump, soon to be Mr. President Trump. Congratulations, and I hope that you can make America great, and I hope that Australia can learn the lessons from what it's, from your courage and having the guts to run again the second time after copping such a pasting from the media. And it's something that our own politicians here in Australia should aspire to. Anyway, we'll talk soon. Bye.